Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our webinar for the ITQM Leadership in Professional and Higher Education Practice. Today, it will be presented by Dr. Larry Kennedy, who will introduce Dr. Hisham Abujrad, who will share with us the IT Quality Manager certification and the role of doing a project between a professional and higher education practice. So I would like to pass the mic to Dr. Larry Kennedy to start it and introduce Dr. Hisham Abujrad. Thank you.
Well, I will repeat myself a little bit, but I do want to thank Margaret and Raed for creating this working relationship that allows us to reach out to people of the caliber of Dr. Abujrad. And we very much enjoyed watching the development of the Quality Specialist Group, part of the British Computer Society. To introduce Dr. Abujrad, when I'm working with cohorts, I'm always looking for someone who has an outstanding immediate grasp of things. But more deeply than that, I'm looking for people that ask very penetrating questions. And I recall, sir, that you did just that, and you were squeezing and grasping to get every possible piece of knowledge out of it from either myself, the course materials, and in particular, the wonderful participants that I'm hoping a lot of these people here will get to enjoy those rich discussions. Again, with your background in higher education, you definitely have a grip on management practices and a sensitivity that you demonstrated in your project demonstrating excellence for the needs of their students. And so I commend you, sir, and I thank you for joining us today, and hope you and everyone listening enjoys what he has to say today. So,
thank you, Dr. Larry. Anything before I start, maybe?
Yes, please go ahead. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Riyadh, and thank you, Dr. Larry. So today I will be mainly talking about a course that I had and my experience and how I have used this during the course and as part of the course, and then later on. The area that I'm going to talk about is IT quality management leadership in professional and higher education practice. And I will be focusing on the project that I did during my IT quality management course. Actually, I'm a model leader for information systems modeling and design course. And I looked at the delivery and student success to basically improve the outcome of the module, put the module in the right track. And I find that the framework that I have used from the course helped me in doing this, and that's what I'm going to present. So let me first talk about the project. So the project was mainly on improving the quality of the course that I'm talking about, which is Information Systems Modeling and Design, ISMD. This is for BSc students, digital and technology solutions. These students are apprenticeship. This is actually the first module for them. So usually, as soon as they enroll, they start the module. And that's one of the challenges that I have. And that's basically makes me think about why I don't use quality management here. So to improve the quality, basically. The first time when I started with this, it was in term 1 in 2023-24. Starting from October time of 2023, until the end, which is January 2024. That's actually the term time. But the actual teaching, this module is delivered online, and we do all the teaching within 2 weeks, and then we give the students time to complete their lectures online and tutorials and everything, and also do their assignment work. And usually in November, they submit their work. Then in December and by early January, we actually deliver the results. What I'm looking for here is to enhance the module, mainly the delivery process, improve student experience, engagement, and also their success, and deliver the learning materials in such way that help students. So the pedagogy of the module will be successful based on, of course, the student success and enhancing student experience. Also, I focus it here on streamlining processes and improving the education environment, or as I mentioned, the students' learning experience. And of course, the final goal is to achieve positive impact on student success rate and improve basically the success rate of the students. There are here two aspects I looked at from the leadership part and from the methodology part. And we know, especially in academia, methodology is very important. Methodology is not only important, actually, frameworks like the quality management framework, which is the work process analysis known as WBA framework, which is actually Kennedy's or Dr. Larry's framework. It helps a lot when we come to leadership. Me as a model leader, I find that this framework helped me to achieve my project aim and objectives. So the focus is basically achievement, which is very important, especially in the work that I am doing. Also, as a model leader, usually I aim to improve the module learning quality, student experience, engagement, and success. And I find that work process analysis framework, WBA, helped me in doing that, because this framework utilizes systematic analysis as described by Dr. Larry. And the best about it is to make a complete project management process, which I will explain later on. I really advise you to look at Dr. Larry's book, Keeping the Promise. It's a really good book and it helped me a lot. Okay, so what's my objectives? And here I'm talking mainly about the project. First of all is to utilize the framework strategically in order to evaluate the course and improve the course delivery and enhance learning quality in the module. Also, the implementation of the framework to achieve the project goals and make the required impact and increase success rates for the enrolled apprenticeship students, create flexible learning environment to support student success, apply the IT quality management principles strategically for streamlined and improved module delivery processes, and contribute to enrich learning environment through the strategic utilization of IT quality management principles. As you can see on the screen, this is basically the framework that I have used in this project, known as Work Process Analysis, or WPA framework. This framework is basically a systematic way or approach framework for understanding, optimizing, implementing work processes in an organization or project. And this framework has 5 key steps within 3 phases contributing to the analysis and improvement. So, as we know, usually in any project, we have this normal process, and this is very common, where you start from resources. So you look at equipment, facilities, materials, staff, and so on. Then you use the process, including policies, controls, audits, procedures, whatever process that you are using to achieve the outcome. Okay? The outcome can be a product, service, process, improvements, whatever outcome that you are aiming for. When we talk about WBA, it doesn't follow this normal way of processing in the way that we usually do. And many of you may ask why, because usually we look at the outcome. The outcome is our target. Yes, I agree that the outcome is really important, and achievement and looking at the end results is really important. But how if we start looking at our outcomes? And that's actually what makes this framework interesting to me. Because usually your aim is the outcome, and that's what you are focusing on. So why you don't focus on that from step 1? And therefore, the WBA has just used the same thought or the same thinking that I'm talking about. So why we don't make step 1 to look at the outcomes, to describe what we need to do, what should be done? What's my aim at the end? And also make a research or investigate on how to do it right. And by doing that, I am sure you can define your project and understand the scope, the aim, the objectives very well. Then you move to step 3, where you can get the resources that you need, which is usually something we start from. But what we usually focus on at the beginning, which is the resources, using the work process analysis, we do it as step 3. Many will say, why? Why we need to do that? We need to do it because when we are going to the resources, we know exactly the resources that we need. We know what takes us to the end that we are aiming for, and planning for the end before the end. And I think planning for the end before the end is really, really important. Then you move from resources, step 3, where you calculate the cost and basically how to get the resources, to the process itself. And we know that the process usually what takes us to the end. And we can see from this framework that because we prepared well for the outcome, we worked well, we make the necessary steps, we get the right resources using these steps, we move to make a proper process. And therefore, we can really decide, for example, on the course of actions that we are going to do and implement the work processes which will lead to the outcome that we are looking for. Let me now talk about how I have used these steps in details. So we start from the outcomes phase, as you can see here in this figure. Okay, so from the point of the natural flow, we start from the outcomes to make step 1 and 2. What we need to do here, for example, or what I did in my project. First of all, I think updating the curriculum to meet the timeline for the block module, which is 2 weeks. Also, schedule the sessions based on the teaching team availability. So I look at the staff and number of staff allocated and the tutorials and make the right schedule within these different 8 sessions, because we have 8 different sessions. Usually we deliver these weekly. Now, no, I'm going to deliver all these in only 2 weeks, 4 lectures, 4 labs every week. Because every lecture has a lab, because this is a computer science module where there is labs. But maybe instead of labs, maybe you have something else. Maybe your lectures, basically our lectures here, basically the lab has more hours than lectures. So you can adjust that based on, for example, if this is in higher education, you adjust that based on what type of sessions you have and the timing of sessions. Then organize the learning materials to ensure flexible learning environment to support students, and also communicate with my teaching team and students and keep them going basically in this particular plan. And in step 2, where I have to do the research on how to do it right, I conducted a team meeting. So, and that's something I do usually, but this particular framework helped me to identify that I really need to involve the staff to clarify how the module pedagogy will be performed. This also make relations between me and staff to understand, for example, what they are interested to deliver, what lecture or lab they should be involved in. Okay, and utilize the curriculum to support students based also on discussing this with the staff and communicating with the staff to ensure the students' progress in their assessment. The meeting also helped me to notify the staff about the important steps, what they need to focus on when they are engaged with students, and arrange the module learning materials on, we have a platform called Moodle, which is a learning management system, and make the right adjustment based on that. And also monitor staff and students' progression. And I used Outlook and Teams as a communication tools. Also make time for discussions and feedback, including questions and answers. During the lab, of course, use learn by doing assessment for learning, and group meetings and activities to improve student engagement. After finishing step 1 and 2, we go now to where we usually start, which is resources. This is very important step where I have to calculate the cost, look at the resources that I have and the necessary resources. Usually I start with looking at the student number. For example, when I started, it was 40 apprenticeship students who basically paid through their employer. And these students usually attend online for 2 weeks. Each session is 3.5 hours. We have usually 2 sessions a day. Usually we have the lecture in the first half and the lab in the second half. Also, in that particular term, I had 3 lecturers with me, or the team is 3 lecturers, and we have 1 teaching assistant. And of course, from the meeting that I had, we have distributed the lectures and labs. Usually the teaching assistants deliver the tutorials only, but the lectures, they may do both lecture and tutorial. We have 16 online sessions in total because we have 4 lectures with 4 labs. That's 8. That's 1 week, and then the same in the following week. So we have 16 online sessions, which should be delivered usually through Microsoft Teams. These sessions usually scheduled, and we used to provide announcement and confirmations through Outlook and also through the Teams channel. The 8 lectures are organized based on the module specifications and learning outcomes and core textbooks and related resources, where the tutorials consist of theoretical questions, practical activities, including learn by doing, and we use blended active learning here as an approach to basically help us engage with students. Blended learning is using different activities. So we use quizzes, for example, exercises, sometime live quizzes, sometime uh, uh, quizzes like they need to do online by question or timed assessment. Also, the module model site and learning materials are structured in line with the module timeline. And the assessments used to organize students in groups to simulate workplaces. And this is actually something because the course that we have is recognized by the BCS, British Computer Society, and to get students simulate workplaces, we make them work on teams. And even the assessment, it's mixture between individual contributions and group contributions. The reason behind that is to make the spirit that students work in a team. And we also allocate a group leader who will be responsible to schedule meetings, make meeting minutes, and also manage with other students for the submission of the group assignment. Now we go to the processes phase, which includes step 4 and 5, which are the last steps. We can see here the last steps is the process, and this should lead to the outcomes because we precisely focused on the outcomes from the beginning. And therefore, we should get into our outcomes. Do we get to 100%? I think from my experience, this should be done in such a life cycle. Don't expect maybe from the beginning you get like the full outcome that you are looking for, but you will get a positive outcome, and that's the good thing. So we go to step 4, where we need to decide on a course of action. So assign tasks to staff based on their role, skill set, and experience to deliver the module sessions. Also, they need to provide feedback, make discussions. And by the way, we make discussion forums as well on Moodle, support student success. Also, we connect the curriculum to the apprentices' interests, ambitions, and prospects, because they are sent by employers to basically get professional and personal development plans. And also, we are looking to achieve the module learning outcomes through assessment components, which include tutorials, assessments, usually that contribute to the marks by 20%. This is individual assessment. Then we have the group presentation. They need to make a presentation where they need to present their project and what they have achieved, and that contribute 20% to the overall mark. And then we have the group report, which is 60%. In step 5, we implement the work processes. So we have the learning materials available on Moodle, structured in such weekly sessions and practice. We have the meetings on team during the course and discuss different tasks to ensure student success. We have 4 lectures in 2 days delivery first, and then we do the tutorials to apply theory to practice. So that's being changed. Also, we get the coursework surgery session, usually in week 2, to make time for any questions and feedback from students. We give enough time to make opportunity for groups to meet and discuss their assignment, and finally deliver support sessions a week before the submission to provide final feedback. So we can see it's not only during the teaching time. I find that it's better if we can also make support sessions. These support sessions can help students to ask any questions while they are working on their assignment and progressing in the term, and also for feedback, especially ask students maybe to provide their draft of their work, and then go with them through the draft and give them feedback to improve their work. Results and findings. So what's the results that we get? Uh, First of all, these students, they come from companies, so they really got a good knowledge. And achieving 100%, this is something we always aim for, and it's something that we do. And by applying the WBA framework, I find that the 100% pass still there, and we're still keeping 100% pass, which is a good news. Also, I find that flexible learning achieved satisfactory student experience. Also, improvements in communication level enhance the learning delivery quality, also enhanced student success. Student engagement also was very well. I noticed that we get 100% attendance with 100% submission. All students submitted. There is no any student didn't submit the work. Also, student feedback was satisfactory overall, and it shows that students actually active, and I got a high percentage of participation, almost 100% participation of feedback. Also, academic skills and writing need improvement to enhance academic report quality. So that's something that I notice as a finding, that we need to focus on academic skills and writing so students can basically improve their results. And that comes out of implementing the WBA framework. Also, findings indicated that further work needed to increase the mark category. Basically, we need to increase the high marks. As you can see here, we achieved 80s. Like, I think the best here is 84. So I think we need to push it to 90s if possible. And also make the lowest maybe in 60s. Also increase in information systems practical skills, system design and critical thinking and analysis is required. And so overall, we find that we need to improve the average mark. Also, we need to ensure the continuous pass rate of 100% and submission rate on time. Here you will find a progression of students' results. This actually includes this year as well. So this is something new. As you can see here, this is actually before I used the WBA. That was 2020-23. The average mark during that time, it was 57.76, which is say 58, about 58, okay? When I applied the WBA in the year 23-24, as you can see here, it's 61.83, which is almost 62, okay? So you can see that it's been an increase of like 4 marks, okay? As you can see here, this is this year. And of course, I'm still using a similar framework. It was just very, very slight increase. So we are just getting closer to achieve the 62, exactly 62. But we can see that with the use of the framework to improve the module, we keep improving. Okay, we can see improvements. Okay, and that makes this framework successful to basically make enhancement and increase success rate in this scenario, student success rate, by improving the quality. Coming to the conclusion, basically, we find that there is a successful implementation of the WBA framework because it results streamlined and effective course delivery for my module. Also, I can see that the framework looked at student needs, engagement strategies, and actually make students experience a learning quality satisfactory, or basically really good. And from what I have shown you, you can see the increase. Also, I find that the planning that I have done and resource allocation ensure the achievement of module learning outcomes and successful adherence to the curriculum. Also, through this framework, the communication strategies been improved, of course, with the use of digital technology, including Outlook and Teams. This actually fostered a strong connection between staff and students and facilitated a smooth learning process. The results were remarkable. We achieved 100% pass rate. We increased the average from 58 or about 58 to about 62%. And outstanding student engagement being achieved because all students they submitted, all students attended. Also, we find that students provided valuable insights for continuous improvements, and this is still continuing with the use of this framework. Also identified areas for enhancement, including academic skills, writing quality, and the need for increased emphasis on information systems, practical skills, system design, and critical thinking. Finally, the project's success underscores the effectiveness of strategic planning. Okay, that include actually teamwork. Okay, from my side with the students or between staff and students. Also flexible learning and the use of blended active learning approaches to achieve positive educational outcomes. Thank you for listening and attending.